Welcome to BWB. I am Jasbir Basu, the host for today. Today is the first episode of Brunch with Books, where we reignite the joy of reading in those who've lost this amazing habit and inspire you to dive into two new books every week. We uncover life changing lessons and relatable insights from the most thought provoking books of the century. Tune in and let us distill the essence of these treasure reads into actionable life skills perfect for busy lives like yours. And we speak about books. So let me begin the journey today with two of my author friends, Dr. Geeta Karyapa. Hello, Dr. Geeta. And Shitapa. So they will take you to the journey of books and will mesmerize you. So have fun.
Hi everyone. So, how many of you are excited to know about a book which is 130 years old and which is very funny and which is relatable even today? So, welcome to BWB. And I am super delighted and thrilled to invite you all on a journey of new books and new experiences. So, how many of you want to laugh and learn with us on BWB? And how many of you want to listen to this story of three friends who went on a boat trip and it happened to adventures and misadventures and it went on to become a comedic travelogue and such a laughter riot and a trending, a famous book, like a bestseller and which is going on even today. So if you're curious about the book, the name of the book is Three Men in a Boat and a Dog, written by Jerome. But at the same time, I want to say we are gathered here to celebrate the magic of storytelling and the potential of literature and words to empower us with new insights and new perspectives and deeper understanding of human experience. So, if you are all curious to know the story, jump in and let me begin. So, this is the story of three friends, Jerome, who is very sarcastic, very observant, and very witty, and his another friend Harris, who is so practical and is so helpful. He brings all the troubles of the world on his shoulders and then lays it on somebody else's shoulders. And the third friend in the trio, George, who's weighty in his words, weighty in his personality, weighty in his thoughts, and weighty in his body. And you know what is his passion? He loves to sleep as many hours as possible. So you know what happened one day? Jerome had a little bit of hay fever. So he went to the UK library and he looked up all the diseases from A to Z. And you know what happened? He discovered that he had all the diseases in the world except the housemaid's knee. My God. And then he thought, he was at the first, he was cut up. Oh, why am not having this housemaid's knee? But then he ran home to tell it to his two friends. And my God, all the two of them, all the three of them have all the diseases in the world except the housemaid's knee. My God, what is happening, Sritapa? What do you think of this?
I
It
know
is
this
so
is such
crazy.
a hilarious book, and let me tell you, this book is full of adventure, lessons on friendship, life, and how not to pack your bag on a trip. This book is so hilarious, and I will say, uh, like you were saying about Jay looking into the medical history, and he was seeing the medical dictionary book and realized and self-diagnosed himself with all the illness he had. Many of us do Google search and on the symptoms and assume the worst, isn't it? And I feel that that leads to overthinking, and it adds on to our anxiety, and that's where the health issues begin. I think the
True, true.
best way is, yeah, just take a deep breath, find the real solution, and do not spend time spilling on your brain thinking about the disease and the symptoms, and it goes on our head. Let's not do that, because recently in Pune there is a GBS outbreak. So one of my
Yeah.
aunt who stays there, she was reading the newspaper. Morning, she just looked at the news that GBS outbreak, Pune, these many people died, and she freaked out. Quickly, she googled out all the diseases, all the symptoms, what is happening around, and then this is a very rare nervous disorder where your immune system gets attacked. The immune system is attacking the nerves. So that is what is impacting the body, and the cause they have mentioned is water contamination.
Okay.
So that is raising, the even anxiety more, because water is something we intake every day. So how to help not to get the disease was her worry, and she started
Oh my
worrying.
God.
So this is very common, don't you feel so? That people go and Google search and find out about the disease. Curiosity is fine. I mean, that is absolutely okay to find about the new symptoms and what is this new disease about, like we did for COVID. That was absolutely okay. But overthinking, let's not, anxiety control you. We should be
Definitely.
learn that, because that impacts health. What do you think?
I
So
definitely
Shitapa
agree.
and yeah, Shitapa and Dr. Geeta have a confession to make. I'm very similar to your aunt
Oh
because
my
what
God.
happened is when in January we had these rumors of the HPMV virus,
Hmm.
and it was all over the news. You know, the China hospitals are filled and all, and I was like getting anxiety, and I was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope it doesn't happen sooner. Then there were cases in Bangalore, stray cases here and there, and then I landed with a cold and cough. And I was like, oh my God, now what do I do? And I rushed to my doctor. She's like, every flu is not what you think it is, you know.
True.
So I can relate to
True.
your aunt. It's really hilarious for other people, but for an overthinker, it's a mess. Trust me, it is.
Ah,
Definitely, definitely.
see
And you know what?
how things relate.
Yes.
True, true, true. Yes. And so, what is the solution for this? Now, what did these trio do to get away from that anxiety? They decided to get away from everything, to take a rest, change of scene, and just recoup and refresh. But arguments started. Where will they go? They will go on an ocean trip, or they'll go on a road trip, or they'll go on a boat trip. Finally, George gave a very weighty idea. Let's go on a boat trip. All right. And then they started packing and got all the stuff, and the food stuff and the kitchen gadget, the utensils stuff, everything. And it's like one small mountain on the side. And then Jerome said, okay, I will start packing. And he expected the others also will join in, but nobody came. They immediately relaxed. Anyway, he thought, okay, let me, start to pack. And he started packing. And finally, with the sigh of, relief, he's ready. Then Harry says, oh, you're not going to pack the boots? My God, he unpacks it
Oh my
again and then
God.
repacks it. He repacks it, and then he's that nightmare which he always has, that trauma, whether he has packed his toothbrush. So he unpacks it again and takes it out and repacks it. Then he remembers he has packed his tobacco pouch in, and then he takes it out again and he repacks it, and these other two friends are just rolling on the ground laughing. So they want to show him how they are going to pack it, and they say, okay, we will do the food stuff, you relax. And he now waits to see how they will pack. So the two, Harris and George, they start packing by breaking a cup, and then they pack the the tomato down, and there is the jam bottle on the top. The tomato is all squashed, so they have to scrape it
My
out with a
God.
spoon. Okay. They pack the pie down, and the saucepan on the top, it is caved in. All right. Then they step on the butter. They scrape it out and keep it on the chair, and Harry sits on it without knowledge. And then they start searching for the butter, and they are searching everywhere. Suddenly, Harris and George come in face to face, and then they turn back, and then George sees that it is stuck to his bottom, and all. And all the while, Jerome is just laughing his head off. And they are so tired, they are ready to go to sleep. And George says, okay, I will wake you up, guys. So there is again an argument, who is going to wake up at what time. And now they turn to George to tell him to wake them up at particular time. George is already fast asleep. So they are so cut up, they pull out the bathtub, keep it under the cot of George, so that when he gets up in the morning, he's going to step into it. My God, what kind of confusion, and what, that there is that, what is a disagreement and quarrel and going on. Is it usual? Have you ever, any of you felt this disturbance and confusion? Any of you?
I think this happens whenever we plan for travel, isn't it? So travel, I
Yes.
think if I relate to real life, this is a very obvious thing, that we prepare something, and then we tend to forget the list which we have prepared, and then what we do is we generally plan. We plan well, but is it as per plan is something we get to know only after the trip. So here I see that three friends, they were planning and over planning their things instead of enjoying the moment. And they had done that so many times that, at times perfection leads to paralysis.
True.
So they
Very
wanted to
true.
be
Very
so
true.
perfect that they have kept their tobacco, their toothbrush, their shoes and whatnot. So this leads to a longer process. Like when you try to be so perfect, whether you are implementing a new project, or you want to take a major decision in life, or you are starting something new and you want to progress there. Everywhere, if we go and stuck to this perfect condition, I think that delays the process. Rather, it's a start now and then
Definitely.
just along the way. That's the best way, I think, is to move forward. And these trials let us know about, what not to do for
Yeah,
a travel plan. And I just
exactly.
remember one hilarious incident here with respect to travel again. I was traveling to office. So when I was traveling to office, it started raining. And as I walked in, a car's, zoomed by. I was
Oh
stressed.
my
Oh my
God.
God.
I was fully drenched. So I just laughed it out because I suddenly remembered that I had a pair of clothes in my office. So instead of sulking, I was just thinking that it's okay. It's just another day where God has decided this sudden change of my wardrobe. I just have to go and change in the office, a new condition coming on my way, and that's how I just took it off instead of cribbing and crying the entire day that a car did this to me. So that's how I think we can manage little things in
That is
life.
so,
Laugh it off.
I agree. I agree
definitely.
with you. And I have another incident from my house, which happens usually when we have a travel plan. I'm the perfectionist who make the list, complete full list for everyone, everyone in the family.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
And I leave it at the desk outside, saying that in the evening when my husband comes home, and I'll confirm with him if everything's fine in this list. And if, for instance, if I'm busy in the kitchen cooking, he comes home.
Hmm.
The first thing he does is he's wondering what this paper is. He knows it's important. He'll fold it, put it into a drawer where I don't know where it is, and I come back and I'm like, "Where's the list?" And he's like, "What list?" Because he hasn't seen what the paper is about. And then my husband, me, and my daughter, all three are looking for the list rather than sitting and picking another one. So
That
this
is so
happens to me
funny.
every time we travel. It's
That is
hilarious.
so funny. Yeah.
So I can
You
relate
know,
to these characters so much. This
yes,
confusion and chaos, it's all there.
yes, yes. And definitely, perfection leads to paralysis and to all kinds of confusion. Because I can remember Harris's uncle Podger. Once, he wanted to have the picture hung on the wall. All
Mhm.
right. And Uncle
Mhm.
Podger says, instead of calling someone to do it, he says, I will do it. And then he involves everybody in the house. So there has to be someone to hold the chair, two people to hoist him onto the chair, one person to give him the hammer, one to give him the string, one to show the light, another person, to give the direction. And then after all, he has leaned too far when he is, reaching up to the nail there. And then, the picture just slips from his
Oh
fingers,
my
and then
God.
the glass breaks and cuts his fingers, and then
Oh
he
my God.
falls. He falls on the piano, and his fingers, his hands, his legs, his forehead, everything, at the same time contact the notes of the piano. There is a beautiful music and such a wonderful music happening. And his wife, aunt, she says, now next time when you're going to do this, you let me know in advance because I'm going to stay in my mother's place for 1 week.
I cannot. I cannot laugh. It's this is so funny and hilarious scene. And from the book, I think this book is 130 years old and
Hmm.
still so relatable and
So relatable, yes.
humorous that we all love reading this. I mean, one must go and read this book and find out how well this story is and how good it will be to connect to the story. Back then in the Victorian England, traveling was trending that time, and
Yes.
we all loved to go out and escape for a gateway or a road trip or maybe some trip there. And that's how it has happened that we all link to travel. And when I see Uncle Porridge with all these things, I think we just have to laugh on little things in life, and that's how we have to move on, because that's how we have to train our brain to learn to laugh at the daily problems so that we get feel better, and that's how we can reduce our emotional load, is what I feel.
That's the beautiful beautiful vibes we get from this book, as you say, Sritapa, because after all so many mishaps, they are able to laugh at it. And you know what? Like they had a boat trip earlier too, and then they had taken a paraffin oil for their stove. And then what happened was this paraffin oil was so friendly, it spread itself all over. It wanted to give its love to everybody. So it was there in the rug, in the clothes, in the food, in the boat, and in the sunlight and the moonlight. And even when they went to the next town, it is there on the park and the restaurants and the people everywhere. They couldn't get out of the smell of that paraffin. And another, very funny thing that I observed was Jerome. He always wants to take a red, swimming short and his bath towel everywhere he goes for his trip, because he has this dream that wherever he goes, he wants to get up early in the morning and enjoy the swimming pool or the river, and then come and make his friends feel jealous that he had this beautiful swim and all that. But what really happens is, when he goes for his holiday, he sleeps till the breakfast time, and then he gets up to have his breakfast. That is all. We think of some things, but actually what happens, nothing pans out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right, right.
even we will see later on in the story as it goes, the audience will see that whatever they have planned, will it go as per plan? Let's see, and we stay tuned with us. You will figure out how it is happening. But what I want to say here is just unplug and take it slow. Enjoy your life and life's little things. Because in this screen dominated world, that's what we all need, is to
Definitely.
unplug and enjoy our little things in life and laugh over it.
Definitely.
Just move on.
Lovely. The what you said is so true, Sritapa, because that is what is the need of the day. And Sujata is also saying the same thing, and so many of us them have joined. Hi Preeti, hi Sujata, and hi everyone. Hope you all have enjoyed today's session, and you have enjoyed the journey of these three friends on their boat trip and followed their the journey, because after all, life is also a journey, right? And hope you have taken a lot of takeaways and insights from this, and you are enjoying. I hope so.
So we've had an amazing talk today, and this book sounds so interesting and funny and so relatable, though it's 130 years old. So today we discussed about how these three friends plan on a boat trip on the River Thames.
Which along with me, there will be two speakers. One is Sujata Tate. Hi, Sujata ji.
Hi. Hi.
Here we have her, and we have my other friend, Siddharth Sen. Hi, Siddharth. He is the second speaker of the day. And today we are going to speak about a non-fiction book, which let the talk begin. I request Sujata ji to begin the conversation and give us some insight about the book.
Today we are discussing Shad Helmstetter's What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. Now, don't we sometimes feel that our brain is a dramatic scriptwriter? It's writing scripts for us. And it writes, sometimes we feel that it's writing only tragic monologues. Now, Shad Helmstetter says that your inner dialogue is basically the narrator of your life. It is driving your actions and sort of molding it as it should be. But unfortunately, most of us, we are stuck with a grumpy old critic who's always criticizing what we are doing or what we are capable of, instead of the motivational coach, which we should make, the script should be. So this book breaks self-talk into 5 levels, but today we'll focus only on the first 2, which are the most relatable and also the most frustrating. Level 1 is I can't. When we convince ourselves that we are doomed before we even try, before even we make an attempt. Like, for example, I say I can't cook because once I burnt a toast and that has remained with me, and so I vowed never to touch a pan again. So, that shouldn't be. The second is level 2, I should. The land of eternal procrastination. You keep postponing things, and we know that we need to change, but we don't act. I say that I should start working out, so I buy expensive sneakers, a pair of expensive sneakers, and nice track pants and everything, but when I think of venturing out to the gym, I just go up to the fridge and come back. I'm again postponing it because I feel I'm not a gym person. So we should recognize these levels. That's what he says. And we should get into I can't or I should, but we should upgrade ourselves to I will. So now, Siddharth, what's your take on this? Hello.
Thank you so much, Sujata. That's amazing thought to start this session with. Like Shad Helmstetter said, what we say to ourselves matters a lot, right? So we are talking about level 1 and level 2 today. I can't was something which I had been holding for so long. When I was a kid, I was very shy. I was like always behind my mom. Even my relatives never saw me very quickly. So I was kind of hiding so that I don't have to talk. And cut to the part two where I am like in traveling all over the world. I'm talking to the directors and CXOs, and now as an author, I'm talking in public forums. Public speaking has become my very normal day-to-day activity. So that I think is such a shift from I can't do this to what I have done. And we have been doing about this like so many times. We do it every day. We do it to ourselves every day. I can't do this. I can't do that. I shouldn't do this, or I should do that. And it continues as a like a ever going, I would say, drama or the saga of our I can'ts and then our nots, and it continues. So I think the other day when we were connecting with fiction book Three Men in a Boat, that was another amazing story where we could relate to this self talk, and we were talking about the same thing. We were talking in the fiction book about the same thing. It is so relatable even today that
Yes.
we are saying that when Jerome, the character J, he calls himself the character J, and he feels not well to that day, and he goes and looks for the dictionary and finds out that every disease in the world he has except the housemaid's knee, and that was something which was so surprising for him that he's so full of diseases. And then he says that we should go for a trip, and they plan a trip. So the thing has been that we can keep saying that we don't have this, we don't have that, I can't do this, I can't do that, and the day can continue like that. We do that not only days, months, years, we continue with that. So I think that is where we continue to work with ourselves, saying negative things all our lives, and then we suffer like that. So I am a big example there where saying no, I cannot talk, and now I'm talking in front of you all. I'm talking in public forums. It's such an amazing thing. So that is definitely true, Sujata ji. What do you say,
Yes.
Shritapa?
Yeah, I have some, experience to share here. I was, as a child, I was very calm and quiet. And my mom always, she used to search for me at home, where I am. Where I'm there, I was so silent that she never found me where I am because I'm not speaking. I'm somewhere silently sitting and doing something. Okay, so what happened when I grew up? I mingled with people. I learned to mingle with people and I do it comfortably, but I speak less. So one day I had to join TCS. I joined, and there in a week, next week, we had a skit to perform. It was on Ramayana, and
Mm,
I was as a narrator. So standing in a stage was I didn't have stage fear because I've performed several dances by then. So stage fear was not there, but public speaking was there because I felt I cannot speak publicly. I don't know to speak so much. So what? How will I manage so much of speaking on the stage? So that was my fear, which was holding back, and I had that, But I had practiced. I practiced hard, and I narrated Ramayana that day. And I realized that it was my hesitation which was stopping me. But
mm,
this was just the beginning. When I switched job and I was climbing the ladder, I had to speak a lot to the leadership and in several other communication forums where I felt that okay, I was feeling better and confident gradually. But the real push came when I became an author because I
wow.
I still believe that I couldn't, speak that fluently or that so much in public. That fear was still there in me, but I was managing it during the work. But being an author, one day my mentor, Sweta Samota, she just said that we all have to go live on social platform and start speaking. That's where I think I had the action push, because that's when you have to speak on live instantly. And it times happened that we spoke just instantly also at many author talks. So that's where I broke my fear of speaking in public, and I am now I feel that that was just all in my mind, where I was just giving a self talk that I can't speak publicly, I don't speak confidently, I don't speak so much like others do, and I was just holding myself back. That was all self talk going on in my head, and I could break that fear once I moved out of comfort zone and I just saw a different side of me. So that's what I want to say. When you actually start positive self-talk rather than negative, you will see a different side of yours which you have never seen before. So give it a try.
Amazing.
Yes, absolutely. So, actually, we also come across a person, so many persons in real life. Nowadays it's a craze. Everyone wants to be healthy, fit. So, we hear so many times, you see, I'm on a diet, I should be healthier, so I will avoid pizza. They say all that. But soon after you see them in eating an entire pizza. And then they
Uh,
say there are others also. I think many of you must have come across. So you can share your experience. But just there's another thing, like some people say, I should start saving money. But then
mm,
soon you see that they buy so many unnecessary gadgets and they keep adding them to their online cart. So Shad Helmstetter, he says that the magic happens only when we move to I will, because real change will happen only when we start doing something. So you would like to add something,
yes, yes,
Siddharth?
yes. So,
Yes.
Sujata ji, that reminds me of my, days when I was in US. I used to love pizza, and I was working in a CPG company where pizza was free actually. So, while going to breakfast, we are having pizza. While having lunch, we are having pizza. While having dinner, we are having pizza. Pizza, pizza, pizza. Pizza was my like all-time favorite, and I was having those fatty pizza with the cheese, the cheese burst, and then melting in my mouth, and I loved it. And then cut to, I was really, having a very bad cholesterol level. Then I checked with the doctor, and I realized it was more than 800, and the doctor was telling me that you will die tomorrow. That was the
Oh
time.
God. Oh God.
It was so scary. It was scary to that day because I loved pizza and I was having healthy pizza by then.
Oh
I
my
had realized
God.
that having chicken and other type of pizza is not going to help me. I started having vegetable pizza, and that was so interesting. I was having that confidence in myself that I am now having good pizza. And the doctor said, भाई गुड पिज्जा बैड पिज्जा नहीं होता पिज्जा पिज्जा होता है बैड होता है
That reminds me just for when I used to make noodles for my kids, I used
yeah
to add a lot of vegetables thinking that those maida noodles will still be healthy.
yeah so the same thing, right? It has a maida base and it is not healthy. So the doctor told me that you will die tomorrow, what will you do? So I was like shocked. Okay, I am still having healthy pizza, and I don't know, maybe the doctor's medicines are not working on me. So it is that maybe the reason. But then he was very strict. He told me go for some trip. And that's where I think today is Valentine's Day. We are talking about love all over the places. But there is one kind of love which we should appreciate is self-love. Self-love
Yes.
is very important. Though my love at that point was pizza, but I had to control and realize that pizza is not helping me. It is my self-love for getting rid of this love of pizza, which can help me from a health perspective. And I took a trip for Himalayas. Did a trekking, and there I was eating really vegetables, not pizza anymore. So that was year I think, 2014. I think 2014 end when I stopped taking pizza, and now from I think how many 10 more than 10 years I have never had pizza. So that is
So,
the amazing thing I've done to myself. That is self-love. That is self-love.
uh,
And if that would have been true, I would have died like 10 years back. But now I'm very healthy, live, available in front of you guys, doing, talking, and amazing feeling that self-love has given to me. But this also relates
yes.
to the story which we are talking about, the non-fiction
Certainly.
lesson we are talking about is, we can continue to say I should do this. In my case, it was like I should get into a healthy habit, but it was not happening unless I realized what is self-love for me, and then it worked for me. So I think that second point is also very important, that we cannot procrastinate and continue to procrastinate, because procrastination is also a big, I would say, no in everybody's life. Waking up early,
Yes.
eating healthy, taking medicines properly, or doing the fitness regime, uh, going to your work with that clear mindset. All this is part of your healthy thing, healthy living. Self love comes into it, self care comes into it. Not only you are feeling better, you are making the environment around you better. Once you are healthy, then the environment around you will be also healthy. So that is the biggest take I have received from this particular incident, but it has changed me completely. What do you say, Shitapa?
Yeah, thank you for saying that, Siddharth. It is a very insightful conversation which we are here having, and seeing the world around now, I think this is the need of the hour to communicate what you have gone through and what is, self-love actually helping people. Mindful living is important. I would just like to add one of my experiences here during COVID. We were all stuck at home, and so was I. So almost for 6 months, I was there at home and doing, nothing, stepping out. I was just able to see from balcony the quiet streets, the flying birds, and the trees. And I was missing my evening walks and my stepping out and roaming around the city. So I was not able to go office. So no going out at all. It was just at home. And I used to have headache when I used to be only at home and not step out. That was me. So I had to learn to be inside. And that's when what happened is that's when office started to uplift employees, and they introduced bi-weekly Friday fun activities. That's when we started to play music and playing instrument. All these were introduced, so people started singing and playing and instruments and entertain on Fridays. That was good. I was observing that for 2 3 months, and one day I thought, I'm very bored at home, nothing to do. At least I had always thought that I will sing someday, because I used to write scripts of lyrics of music of my own, because I didn't remember the original lyrics. So I used to write my own lyrics and sing that. But I have never sang. I am not a professional singer. So I just challenged myself that day without saying anyone, not even my team. I just registered. I took
Wow.
an action. I took an action that day, that I just registered. After that action, the actual fear began that I am not a singer. And it was going on like, I'm not a singer, what will I do? Because entire there was a huge crowd who is going to join us, and I was aware of it. It's just not my team, it's just not my extended team, it's the senior leadership and the entire
That,
people joining there
that
across. It
really.
is not in one city, it is across cities.
Wow.
It's a global event there.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, I have really challenged myself to the extent I could this time. I think more than the previous one. So I started practicing. I practiced, and my mom was always my cheerleader to help me rectify my singing, rhythm and everything. She used to listen and let me know where I'm going wrong. So that helped me. But the problem here arose was they introduced that they have the person who is singing either should sing with a karaoke, or they can play an instrument. I knew neither, and this word karaoke was Latin and Greek to me that time. I had no clue about this, so I googled, I downloaded, and I thought, okay, I'll practice with it. I practiced, and my voice was not syncing with the karaoke rhythm. It was
Mm.
tough for me to manage that. So what I said, I just dared to check if I can just sing without instrument and karaoke. And to my relief, I got an answer as yes. So I was like, okay. This works, at least one problem solved. And I proceeded that day. And the final day came where I was saying, okay, I sang. Of course, I was not the best because there were the professional people there. I gave my best and it was not that bad. So one thing I resonated from here is like to take action, how important it is, because that actually gave me a thought that if I think I can, even if I don't know, I will be able to make it
Mm.
with the effort needed. So I
Right.
just broke that fear of mine by taking action, because at times we all keep thinking that one day I'll do, one day I'll do. That date never comes until you take that action.
True,
So I
very
think that push
true.
was needed, and that push should come for yourself with that self love for you. I think
Yes.
here I wanted to sing and I have written lyrics. So I was loving myself after that day that I could sing publicly in front of all, even though I don't know sing. So that
Yes.
is an amazing feeling. I can't tell you. You just try it and you will get it.
That's perfect. So really motivating, Shritapa. Now,
Wow.
I just
I
going
take
back.
request to sing. Shritapa, you should sing. And Jasbir is saying I should sing as well. No.
Right.
All right.
Very,
Mm.
very motivating. So, it's very similar to what happened in the Three Men in a Boat.
Yes.
Like, initially, Jerome, of course, he thought he had every disease imaginable. And they decided to go for a trip along the Thames, like you planned
Yes.
the Himalayan trip.
Right.
So
Exactly.
that could be related. But
Yes.
then they didn't really plan for the trip. The planning was not there, though
Mm.
they decided to go, and they never really planned. And so that's what led to all those hilarious disasters, which keep us laughing throughout the book. So you must read these books. You will really enjoy them. And then there's another character, Montmorency, the dog. He's just a dog, a fearless fighter, but then he moves around. His self talk is that, he moves around as though he's the king. That's the pure confidence that he had. Just like Shritapa, you had when you sang that day, I think.
Yes,
So,
I can relate.
so if only his owners, they had the same mindset. Now, would you like to talk add further, Siddharth?
Sure, sure. Sure, Shwetaji. So, what I think we are learning from these stories is that there are multiple facets, right? We are talking about overthinking, we are talking about negative talks, we are talking about unplanned activities, we are talking about so many things which are adding stress to our lives today only because we
Hmm.
are not doing it properly, we are not mindfully doing things, and that is all getting
Hmm.
added. I would love to tell the readers or audience, whoever is joining us today, that these are only level two. I mean, level one and two of
Hmm.
Shat Hemstetter's book.
Yes.
But next week we are going to talk about the level three, four, and five, which talks about or explains how we can transform ourselves. I have been able to transform myself, so I completely believe in those principles, and they really work because if we keep doing these level one and level two to ourselves, we will never change ourselves. So, the breaking the pattern is the only way to change our lives, and that can happen with level three, four, and five. So, when we talk about that next week, it is going to be very interesting because that is. I would say, life-changing experience which we are going to do to ourselves. What do you say, Shitapa?
Yeah, I feel you rightly said. This itself, the two discussions which we had on level one and two itself is quite an eye-opening, conversation for many of us here. And I'm sure there was lot of takeaways with the real life examples which we gave, and which is so relatable to everyone nowadays. I feel people will be looking forward to the next talk on the next levels of what we should improve. And this is so easy, when we all are making the book come so live and easy to absorb and implement those life changing actionable items on our life skills and improve ourselves as a person.
True,
So
very.
that is the best thing I think you can give and love yourself today with this following us. Show some love to the episode.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Bye bye.